All right. Well, welcome to the final Primal Alternative event for 2023. Gosh, there's only 6 weeks left until 2024, which could sound scary, but I just think it's really exciting because it's such a massive amount of time to take action on something that you want to do in 2024. And then you can be safe in the knowledge that you've got something locked in, tucked away. You can sit back, enjoy Christmas and summer, and get back into it January, February, whenever it suits you, into your new exciting business for 2024. So if you are looking to work for yourself, if you're looking for a mentor and you want that group support to run your own business, because it's pretty lonely being a solopreneur on your own and that you don't need to be. If you love good quality food and you would like to be part of something you're passionate about, and if you're seeking a way to share knowledge and provide a better option for people, then you are in the right place. So what I'm going to do over the next probably about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, is answer questions that I get asked about the Primalista license baking opportunity. I'm going to share how it all works. I'm going to talk to you about the baking starter kit bonus, which is incredible. And I also have an extra special offer today just for you. And stick around to the end because I have got a yummy surprise for one of you lucky live attendees. Now, if you're watching the replay, I know the majority of my people watch the replay because, they're doing things at 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 12:30, whatever time zone you're in on a Tuesday. So hello to you if you're watching after the event. Now, the next step to take after this event, and if you think, oh, this sounds amazing, this is something I want to get into, the next step is to book your Primalista discovery call. So during the call, so all calls are with me. I'm the Primal Alternative founder. And on the call, it lasts about half an hour to 45 minutes. But sometimes if we get on like a house on fire, it might go a little bit longer. When you start talking to like-minded people about the truth about food and the lack of options in the community, it can get pretty interesting. So on the discovery call, we'll get clear, first of all, on what you're looking for. And that'll help me see if the Primalista license can help and if you're a good fit for Primal Alternative. And then I can share how it all works with you, answer your questions. And if it's a good fit, I'll show you how you can join. So you'll find out as we go along. This isn't a sort of click to cart course that you can buy. It's done by application, interview, discovery call. So that's the next step to take. And as it's just little old me doing calls, as well as running the business and developing new products and looking after my family and myself, I do have limited times available. So this week's chock-a-block, which is so exciting. But if you do want to call, this is the link to go to book in with me. So let's get into it. So the first question, I love this one from Morfaula Anakaradis. What an exotic name. She says, okay, so who has joined and how does it all work? I love that one, straight to the point. So let's find out. Here's a little video which explains how it all works. Let's dive into what you get with the Primalista license. So Primalistas describe the Primalista license as a business in a box. And with this license, you'll receive all the recipes and resources needed to create a successful business that works for you and your lifestyle. So the Primalista license gets you from A to B much quicker than if you were to start a brand from scratch. And that's because the product development, brand awareness, packaging, labels, branding, marketing, pricing, and compliance are all done for you. So that just means you can be up and running, getting started in your business, baking and earning money within 2 to 8 weeks, or depending on how quickly you want to get started. There's certainly no prizes for a quick startup with Primal Alternative. The Primalista license is a proven model. It's got a simple to follow system that's been replicated over the last 7 years by close to 300 Primalistas. So that just means there's a greater chance of success for you too. And you know that even with all the uncertainty in the world, it's good to know that food is counter-cyclical. That just means that no matter what's going on in the world, people still need to eat and they need to meet their dietary requirements. Now, let's talk about the tools available to make your business a success. Firstly, you'll get a list of our suppliers to get your labels, ingredients, and bags at the best price possible. You'll also receive our incredible food safety program checklist and letter template for your food business registration with council. You'll get access to easy to follow recipes and how-to videos that are all designed for your domestic kitchen. And whether you've got a 600 oven or a 900 oven, you'll be able to fit 12 loaves in at once. You'll get to bake products that have proven to sell for the last 9 years and meet the grain-free, gluten-free, nut-free, dairy-free, low-carb and vegan market demand while being delicious, locally homemade and packaged in compostable packaging. Additionally, you'll get to collaborate with the fabulous Quirky Cooking with our pastry and macadamia cookies and with Low Tox Life on our brownies at no additional cost. Your business will be advertised on the Primal Alternative website and social media so customers can find you and place orders directly. You'll receive marketing material like brochures, flyers, business cards, online order postcards, and banners for farmers markets to get customers interested in your products. And digitally, you'll get professionally taken photos of all of the products and customer review quotes to share online, which will enhance the credibility of your business and drive more sales. You'll receive sales, marketing, and social media training, as well as practical tips on how to write an invoice and set up a market stall. And if you're feeling terrified and excited about starting a business, that is a good sign. And you know what? It's completely normal. And we call it Terexcited. It just means that you're doing something that's aligned with your values, but it's new, so it's scary. And that's why you will get a ton of amazing tools and support for personal growth and being a business owner. You're going to learn new skills, you're going to have new experiences, and you're going to get to contribute in a new way. And you know, you're not going to be on your own. You'll have support from me and your Primalista sisters. So this just all means that you're going to be joining a well-established business with the support that you need. This means you'll have more predictability in your business, more time, more money, less stress, greater freedom, less risk, and increased security. The Primalista license business model is delivered on a training platform called Kajabi, which drip feeds the Primalista learning week by week. And this allows you to learn at your own pace without feeling overwhelmed. The platform provides simple step-by-step videos that guide you on what to do first and what to do next and by when. And when you've got this training completed, we'll even send you a certificate of completion to celebrate this milestone. With Kajabi, you'll have access to a community of Primalistas who've already gone through the program and who can offer support and advice along the way. So if you're ready to take the leap and start your own business, the Primalista license provides you with everything you need to hit the ground running. From proven recipes and resources to marketing materials and support, we've got you covered. Join us today and become part of our growing community of successful Primalistas. All right, so that pretty much answers everything. Okay, well, thanks for coming. Bye. No, kidding. So let's find out a little bit more about the people who've joined. So if you have booked a Primalista call like Bronwyn has, you'll know that I have an intake form where people put in, why they're wanting to have a chat and what they're looking for. So I have done over 1,000 Primalista discovery calls now over the last 9 years, nearly, of running the Primalista license. And I took all of the information and I put it into an AI bot and said, what are the reasons that people are looking for this opportunity? And this is what it came up with. So if you're feeling any of these, then you're on the right tracks. So the people who have joined Primal Alternative, they were looking for something else because they had flexibility struggles. They wanted jobs where they could work from home, set their own hours, and regular jobs just don't give them that freedom. Now, I worked as a recruiter for 10 years in the UK. That's where I'm from originally, if you're trying to wonder out where this accent's from. I'm from the northeast of England. And I worked as a recruiter for 10 years, and I never saw a job that was 9:30 till 2:30 with 10 weeks annual leave. That just don't exist. People were finding it hard to find healthy food in their area, healthy gluten and grain-free options, and they wanted something better and wanted to be the solution to the lack of decent food in their area. They weren't loving their jobs. So many women are feeling unsatisfied in their current jobs. They could maybe do their job stood on their head, but they're craving something that feels meaningful, especially in the health, wellness, and baking area, which is what they love to do, what they're interested in. They're dreaming of their own business. They want to be their own boss, and they're looking for ways to start their own venture without the typical limitations of a job or going back to uni. I mean, if you want to, like, I was speaking to a wonderful potential Primalista the other week who loves baking. She says she's always covered in flour, and she went to do a Cert 3 to be a pastry chef or a patissiere. And a course like that costs $13,000. And the opportunities for employment afterwards, there's not a lot of things that you actually can do with that kind of training. And also, when I qualified as a primal health coach, you pay for the course. They do give you training on marketing and things like that, and finding your secret sauce. But you still have to go out and create your own brand, create your own products, figure out your own pricing, all of that kind of thing. And if you wanted to get a typical like bricks and mortar business, like a lot of people that I speak to dream of having a cafe, there's a lot of overheads in there in terms of rent, staff, and not just even getting staff, but reliability of staff, and all those other things that got affected with lockdowns and stuff like that. So they're craving support and community. So a lot of people are drawn to this opportunity because they're looking for that supportive community where they can learn, share experiences, and get advice as they start their own business. They've got struggles for specific diets. So especially people who are following paleo, keto, they find it hard to find ready-made products that fit their dietary needs. I mean, that was why this whole business started in the first place. And I'll tell you a bit about that in a minute. So they're searching for options that match their specific diets. And finally, they want to balance work and family. So parents, especially mums, are on the hunt for jobs that let them work from home, but they want to spend more time with the family, but they still need to earn a living. And I have just as many kind of sandwich generation people coming in. So maybe you're caring for young family, maybe you're caring for older family, but you need that flexibility. Can you relate to any of those? Let me know in the chat. So I also do a survey for Primalistas when they've been on board, and I say, tell me about your Primalista experience so far. And again, took all of that data, put it into a bot, and this is what it told me was the sort of the common themes. So Primalistas found they had increased productivity and confidence. They became more productive and confident with their baking skills. They took pride in their products. They made sure everything was made with love and delivered on time. They had a lot of personal growth and focus, feeling more assertive and clear about their goals, which is so cool. They made healthy lifestyle choices. They found that they, practiced what they preached and explored their own clean living and healthy lifestyles. They've cleaned up their own diets, lost weight. One of our Primalista's husbands reversed type 2 diabetes and experienced increased energy and mental clarity. Work-life balance. So they appreciate the flexibility that the business gives them. They can spend time with their families while pursuing their passion for baking and helping others. They love the community and support. They value the sense of community within the Primalista network. They've made new friends. I just had a message this morning from a Primalista in New South Wales who met up with another Primalista, and she was like, you couldn't have given me a better primal pal locally. And they had such a great time sharing, not just information about business, but life as well. So cool. Business skills. So Primalistas have learned essential business skills from managing finances to engaging in sales and marketing, presenting and selling online and in person. I mean, it's amazing. It really is learning about business by doing a business. And they face challenges, such as adapting to new routines, balancing family life, especially during the COVID era. And despite these challenges, they remained resilient and adaptable, which is easier to do when you're part of a group. They have more confidence in decision making. So setting boundaries, very important, determining their workload and asserting their needs. And they've learned to prioritize their business without compromising their well-being. They're making a positive impact, finding fulfillment, proud of what they do, and proud of their contribution. And they feel empowered by this business model because they've transformed their passion for baking and healthy living into a fulfilling and sustainable business venture. I say yow to that. How good is that? So let's meet some of those Primalistas. So this is from Primalista Rosie in her 5th year. Her business turned over $75,000 for that year, and her gross profit was around 55%, so predominantly selling to stockists. She baked 3.5 days a week, and she took 6 weeks annual leave. Primalista Shah in her 1st year, she thought she was going to have to go out and get lots of stockists, but she got 2, and that kept her plenty busy. And she was baking 2 days a week. Her business was turning over $45,000 in the 1st year. And she took 10 weeks annual leave to be with her kids. Yay. Primalista Chicken. I love Chicken as an example here. This is from her 6th year. She's been with Primal Alternative since day one. She works full time. Very successful entrepreneurial insurance broker. Doesn't need any extra money at all. But she loves baking and she loves this way of life. So this is her hobby that pays. And she gets $1,000 worth of orders from friends only. She has no stockists, and she bakes for them every 2 to 3 weeks. And Primalista Ash, oh, I love Ash. This is the stats from her 3rd year. She's in her 4th year now. Her business turns over 54,000. Is that right? Yeah. And she bakes 3 days a week, and she earns enough to pay the bills for a family of 4. Pretty good. All right. So we've got a couple of quick fire questions now. Angela's heading off. No worries. I'd love to have a chat with you if you want to, Angela. And Jackie says, fantastic. Love it. Yay. Cool. All right. So a couple of quick fire questions now. Just wondering about living in a rental property and becoming a Primalista. Great question. So the majority of Primalistas are living in rentals. So yes, it is possible. You might want to check with your landlord or your rental agency first to make sure it's okay to have a business from home. And the 2 things that you want to stress are that it's not going to be a traffic issue. You might want to write this down if you are in a rental. It's not going to be a traffic issue. You're not going to have people coming to your house and parking outside and causing problems because you'll be delivering it to them. Or you might have 1 or 2 people pop into your house, but no big deal. And it's not going to cause extra wear and tear on the property. The landlord won't need extra insurance. It's not going to be a capital gains tax issue. You're just going to be baking a few things and selling them. So hopefully that answers that question. And let's talk about getting your food business registration with council, because that is something that most people, like when I put an ad up on Facebook, I'm sure I'll have one of the comments in here somewhere, because people like to put anything on those Facebook ads. Have you noticed? It's just like, oh, you read them sometimes, you're like, gosh, yowza, you have to be ready for it. But a lot of people think that you can't do this from home, and like they make out like selling snake oil on Facebook because as if, anyway. So you can do this from home. And the reason you can do this from home is because Primal Alternative products are low risk and not potentially hazardous. So if you think about like cottage style industries or little old ladies like us baking for the school fair, and they're baking a cake without cream, or they're making jam, that's the category that we fall into. And we've got a food safety program, which is over 100 pages long, which has got all of our products in, all of our methods, and we've had all of our products lab tested. That costs a lot of money. A lot of things that we do at Primal Alternative would be impossible as a solopreneur just because of the cost, which is why it's so great. We're kind of like a co-op. We can do it because there's lots of us. And yeah, so it shows the lab tests from food technicians to say that these are safe to make at home, which is really cool. So that can sometimes be hard to convince environmental health officers, or you might think, how am I going to say that? Well, all of it is in this document that has been written with the help of environmental health officers, believe it or not, and food technicians and myself, and our 9 years of experience of doing this. It's all in there. There's also a cover letter to support your application with council, a checklist, like a troubleshooting checklist. If they say this, say that. And of course, support from me. So it can be quite bamboozling, even just looking at the council website. You think, well, what am I? Am I a manufacturer? Am I a distributor? What am I? So anything like that, you can screenshot and send it to me, because I know and I can help you with that. So if you want to do a bit of research or due diligence on your local council, what you can do, you might want to write this down as well, is just type into your browser home-based food business and then the name of your council and see what comes up. It's usually an online application. Oh, look, here we go. You need shower approval for your kitchen, home baking, i.e. health department too, correct? So usually it's a two-step process, well, three-step process. One is with the Department of Planning, which is to get approval to have a kitchen, a home-based business from your kitchen. So that's usually the first step. And then the next, it goes to the health department, and you'll be assigned an environmental health officer who will check out what you're doing, make sure you know your basic food safety and handling. Again, all of that's in the food safety program. And then they'll come and do an inspection. And everyone freaks out. They pull all-nighters. They get the toothbrush in the window sill frames, you know. So the sorts of things that council are looking for are that you have got bench tops and surfaces that can be wiped clean. They're looking to see that you can store your food separately from the household food, and that's to reduce cross-contamination, obviously. And they want to make sure that you can keep pets and kids outside of the production zone, which is the new name for your kitchen while you're baking. Easy, a door. Like if I've got 3 cats, they sleep on my bed all day, so just close the door while you're baking. And obviously have it like that when they come for inspection. If you've got your cat walking around on your bench tops, you will not get approved. So just a little heads up. Everybody's got pets. You don't need to rehome them. You just need to show that you can prevent the fur from getting in the food by keeping them out of the area, wearing an apron, wiping the surfaces down before you start baking. I mean, basic stuff, nothing too technical. You will need insurance. You're going to need public and product liability insurance. So in terms of extra costs, you're looking at your insurance will be about $50 a month. Now, Primalista Chicken that I introduced you to before, she's an insurance broker with West Farmers Insurance. She does most of the Primalista's insurance, and she can help you too, saves you a job. Or you can shop around, you can go with whoever you like. And the council approval is around the $500 mark. I have seen it be as low as $25 and as high as $1,200, which is ridiculous. And then you will have an annual renewal. So mine was $500 to get approved, and then it's $120 a year after that. So $10 a month. Totally doable. But who owns Primal Alternative? Did you know that this is actually one of the most commonly Googled questions about Primal Alternative? So does anybody know who owns Primal Alternative? Let me know in the chat. I'd be interested to see if you know. So good to know. It's not some big food corporation who doesn't care about your health. Me. That's right. 10 points, Avril. So, and it's usually husbands, I have to say. who owns Primal Alternative, they think like it's some kind of scam situation. Look, it's me. I'm a mum from Albany in WA who had a health crisis, who found out that it was easier to find grain-free alternatives than, just eating meat and vegetables all the time. And I shared that food with people and it took off. And here we are 9 years later. And that's as simple as that. I'm the sole director. I don't have a team, working in a big office anywhere. It's me. I get my mum to help me with some of the admin. My 78-year-old mum in the UK, bless her socks. She's lovely. She's really smart, actually. She's an ex-lawyer, very smart. And she likes to keep her brain neural pathways going. It's good for, as you get older. And I also have an assistant, Mel, who is like a VA who does so many hours for me a month. She's a lifesaver. Helps me out with a lot of the admin side of things. But other than that, it's me doing everything. And I love it, love it, love it. So it's not owned by some big corporation who prioritizes profit. It's owned by me, who prioritizes health, family life, and having a good time, enjoying your life, Oh, look, there's me. Oh, there's me, mum. Bless them. She's coming over. They're coming over from the UK in 4 weeks' time. It's exciting. In a lovely Mahashi dress, rocking it, Nana, grandma. There's me. That's my son, Sam. We get pictures taken every summer. So everyone's a bit taller now. And I'm a bit blonder. Sam, our 16-year-old son. That's Mike, my husband. And Millie, our daughter. And that's me dad. Hiya, Dad. So my journey into all of this foray started with a health crisis. And I'd love to know in the chat, have you had or in the process of your own health crisis? So this was mine. That was my shopping list of disaster. It was a really horrible place. I'm talking like basic survival mode. That's all I could do. There was no way I could have even thought about starting a business or helping anyone else. I was struggling to help myself, which is normal when you feel so bad. And it was really a case of survival, getting the dinner ready, doing the washing, rinse and repeat. That was pretty much the extent of where I was at. Yes, Jackie relates. And John and Alice, I guess it's Alice that's here, not John. Yeah, corporate burnout and low IBD. What's IBD? Let me know. Is that like IBS? But you hit the wrong key, or is it something different? Like IBS, yeah. Okay. Oh, yes. Yes, I get it. So yeah, same. Worked too hard in corporate, had 2 kids, got burnt out, ended up like this. It wasn't very nice at all. And this is something that came up on Facebook a while ago. It must be nearly 13 years ago. Yeah, it would be 13 years ago in the February. Did anyone of you feel sick when breastfeeding? So this was a second kid, made 2 humans, sleepless nights for a year now. So she was born in 2010. I felt on and off nauseous and general rubbish, but it's reached a peak: cramps, nausea, headaches, fatigue. I wish I knew why. Can anyone help? So we're here for people like Helen Marshall in 2011. And I'm so happy to let you know that I have reclaimed my health by getting back to the foods that we evolved and thrive on as a species, which are plants and animals. So I ditched the 3 foods that I ditched were grains, industrial seed oils like your vegetable oils, canola oils, your Nutalex. All of those foods are highly inflammatory, as are grains. And I also removed refined sugars, again, very inflammatory, insulin spiking. It makes you go on this like kind of roller coaster of needing some sugar every couple of hours, and move to plants and animals, meat and veg. And that was okay. Felt great. This is me feeling great. Look at my face. I'm so happy. And so I've worked in the health and fitness world since I was 14. I was teaching aerobics back in the UK at the tender age of 14. I worked in health and fitness all my life, apart from my little break as a recruiter, but always had an interest in this. And the reason that I went away from the health and fitness world was just because the hours were rubbish. Like, it was really bad. You'd be opening the club at 5 a.m. and then you'd have a PT session at 8 p.m. There was just no life. So I went to corporate, which was a mistake as well. Anyway, so as I was primal health coaching, people, I was talking about this as I started blogging. People would stop me in the street and literally put their hand on my arm and say, "What did you do? I need some help. What did you do? I'm on anti-nausea tablets." So I started hosting primal chats on my deck where we'd all get together and drink cups of tea and eat cookies, and doing one-on-one health coaching and also group coaching sessions. And my clients said this. Oh my God, H. I feel amazing. However, I am too overwhelmed with all of this food prep. I am fermenting my vegetables. I'm soaking my nuts. I'm fermenting my own yogurt and my own kefir. And I'm shopping at the farmers markets now because you said I couldn't shop at Coles and Woolies anymore. And I've had to make friends with a farmer who does grass-fed meat. I'm getting raw milk from somebody dodgy down the road. It's just like all consuming. So much chopping and prepping and worrying that the kids were just going to push it away and say it was disgusting. So I offered to help them. And when I told Mike that we were going paleo, that's why I say primal, because when I say paleo, it sounds really bad. I've got a couple of my very close friends, they go, "Yeah, go paleo, go paleo." Who needs enemies? And they've got friends like mine. But yeah, primal, it's easier for me to say. But Mike said to me, "We're not doing this without cookies." Right? Very typical husband response. So I took our family favorite choc chip cookie recipe and I swapped out the margarine, see you later, seed oils, and popped in some organic butter. I got rid of the ridiculously horrible supermarket compound chocolate and put in 70% dark choc chips, 70% cacao dark choc chips. Swapped the flour for almond meal and tapioca starch, and made this cookie, changed the sugars as well to a coconut sugar, which is less refined. And it was actually better than the original recipe. So I went on to do that with other things that we were missing, like pizza bases, bread, wraps, and granolas, like cereal. Like this morning, you get bacon and eggs. Bacon and eggs is lovely. And then it gets a bit warm and you think, I don't want something warm for breakfast. So I just had some of our low carb seed granola, and it's the first time I've had it, in the warmer months. And it was so delicious. I was so excited. And it was so easy. You just go, easy. And so people were finding, my health coaching clients were finding that they were not falling off the wagon, which is the way that they described it to me. It was easier to stay on track, and it became easier to help people, because instead of saying, right, don't eat these and this is why, it would be like, okay, you miss your bread, just have this. You want pizza, have this. So there was no falling off the wagon. You could have your cookie and still smash your health goals, So I've said all of that to you, I think, already. The only other thing I haven't mentioned is that I do have a podcast on the wellness couch called the Primal Alternative Podcast. Got a new release coming out this Friday. If you love podcasts, check it out. All right, on to the next question from Lizzie Simmons, who says, in terms of location, do you get sole access to a specific area with your purchase? Great question. A very common one is territory. And the answer is no. There is no territory with Primal Alternative. When I think of territory, I think of like soldiers, men, marking my territory. This is my territory. It's very a waste of time. Women don't work like that. Women collaborate better together, and nobody wants to step on anyone's toes, right? So the way that we work at Primal Alternative is that nobody is going to approach your stockists. Nobody is going to approach your markets. You wouldn't anyway, would you? You just wouldn't. And the way that we get around that is we all charge the same. So nobody's going to come into your area and say, hey, I'll give you that bread for 50 cents cheaper, because that's gross. It's like something from Only Fools and Horses. Nobody wants to be Del Boy. And so we all charge the same. And also, what was I going to say? I got distracted with thinking about Only Fools and Horses then. Oh yeah. Also, imagine if you came into, let's say chicken. You know, she works full time. She bakes once every 2 or 3 weeks. If I said to her, right, you have to supply everyone within a 50-kilometer radius of where you live, she'd tell me to go and run and jump, because she doesn't want to do that. You know, this is about creating a business that serves you. I've remembered it now. We have a really simple Google document, just a Google Sheets, called the Target Stockist Spreadsheet. And every Primalista, when they've approached the stockist, they go on there and they say, right, I spoke to Healthy Veg Shop in Sydney, gave them some brochures and samples, following up next week. So that if somebody's thinking about approaching Healthy Veg Shop, they can say, oh, Avril had a chat to them last week and she's following up this week. It's also really helpful if there's been an active Primalista in your area and then they hang up their apron. More about that in a bit. And then you can look at where we've stocked before and go back and say, hey, I know you used to be a Primal Alternative stockist. I'm baking in the area now. Would you like to start ordering again? So it's really cool. The territory is very patriarchal, very man-made model. And this is a little bit more feminine based, the way that we work here. I love this. This is a question. Where are your Primalistas? Do you have someone in Adelaide? Do you have someone in Perth? Do you have someone in Maitland? Do you have someone in Queensland? We've got Primalistas all across Australia. I have one Primalista in the UK. So I've only ever specifically advertised to Australia. But because of podcasts and things, we've had Primalistas in New Zealand, the US and the UK. But my focus is Australia. And we've got Primalistas across Australia, but we don't have enough. And every day I get questions every day. There's nobody near me. Who can I order from? So we have a big demand and not enough bakers, which presents a really good opportunity for you. But if you wanted to see where our Primalistas are, you go onto the website, you can just click on the Primalista tab, or you can go to primalalternative.com/Primalistas, and you'll see who is actively baking in your area. Again, there's another question. How do I find out if there's someone near me where I can purchase from? So all purchases get channeled directly to Primalistas. At one point, I started an online shop in 2019, and that was back when it was really hard to have an e-commerce presence and have your own shop. But actually now it's so easy. Most Primalistas have got their own shop with Squarespace. You know, the Square tab. I'm sure you've tapped on a Square thing before. They're about $50 from Officeworks, and you can set up a website on there with a shop. Really easy. Now, do you need to do that? No, you don't. And in fact, quite a lot of Primalistas build a shop like that and then find people just text them an order. But, if you think about in a world of everything online, you're a point of difference. They can meet the baker. They can be friends with you. They can message you on Facebook. You can't do that with big food companies. So I like it. It's a little bit different. Now, this one I've thrown in because it's kind of funny. Amanda Thompson said, I would love to do this, but I just don't have the money to buy the printer. What printer? I don't know what printer, but you don't need to buy a printer to be a Primalista. You will have to get labels printed. We get our labels printed by a professional printer because, they need to make sure they're going to be waterproof. They're not going to all smudge when they go in the fridge or the freezer. But we have a really good supplier that does that for us. You don't need a printer because it would be very expensive if you did. All right. And one now from Vincenza. Is this a course? Cost, location, and days, please. And a lovely picture of a cat with blue eyes. Love cats. So is it a course? It's a license. So people often say, oh, is that like a franchise? And it is like a franchise, but it's a license. And the difference between a license and a franchise is control. So with a franchise, so say like Boost Juice is another similar food, no, not similar, but another food themed business that started from Janine Alice's kitchen. and she wanted to get more fruit and veg into the world. So she started Boost Juice, very successful brand. I'm sure you've heard of Janine Alice. I'm sure you've had a Boost Juice. But with her business model, everything's linked. So every time you would make a sale, 8% of every smoothie goes to Janine Alice. She can see exactly how much you're selling. You've got to have certain things a certain way, etc. But with this is more of a business model that you get, and you go off and you do it your way. Obviously, there's certain things you've got to stick to, like the recipes, use the right labels, use the right tins. But other than that, you don't need to declare how many sales you make or anything hideous like that. There's no leaderboards of who's the top performer in sales conferences and anything like that. Thank goodness. So it's really just yours to have as you want it. So it's not a course, but it is delivered in a course format. So I'm going to walk you through it in a minute, but 3 main modules, so 3 steps. That's drip fed over 6 weeks, and that's really so that you know exactly what to do. You can tick something off, resume, and you know where you're at, instead of just going, oh my goodness, I'm overwhelmed, where do I start? Okay, so this was on a Primalista discovery intake form, actually, that somebody wanted to know the outlay and business plan and tech requirements. So here's that the steps I was just talking about. So there's 3 steps that the course or the Primalista license training will guide you through. So the first thing that we do is we get you open for business. And this takes place over 2 weeks. So each step takes 2 weeks. And in the open for business section, we're going to guide you to register your business. So get your business name, create your brand name. We're going to help you register as a food business, get your insurance, and take care of setting up your Primal Alternative email, getting access to the training and the Facebook group for community. And we celebrate with an open for business post on Facebook and Instagram. Have you seen them where they go, new Primalista, open for business? It's such a great moment. And that's when you'll get advertised on the Primal Alternative website, so customers know that you're there and they can place orders. Now the open for business is the most chunkiest bit. Like the first week is you do a lot of the hard work then, and that's intentional because that's when you're going to have the biggest drive when you start something new. So once you get through that first week, you can know that you're kind of on a downward thing from there. It's not going to be as hideous as getting in your paperwork with council. The next step is very exciting. It's getting equipped. And we're going to connect you with our best suppliers for your ingredients, packaging, and labels and equipment. You'll have probably started trying the recipes, testing on friends and family, maybe even having a few kind of soft launch posts on Facebook, maybe a little chat to your friend down at the health food shop to let them know this is what you're doing. You can use the pictures on the Primal Alternative website. I'm going to be starting doing this. It might be something you're interested in. Yeah, you can kind of, it's called a soft launch. You kind of let them know that you're coming. And then finally is making sales and still being you. So nobody's going to ask you to turn into some schnazzy, sleazy, cheesy car salesman. Sorry, car salesman everywhere. But we do a very authentic sale, which is really based around asking questions. And you'll get those questions and you'll get the sales training. So basically you'll be going into health food shops and saying, do you get customers who are looking for grain-free, gluten-free, low-carb, dairy-free, plant-based products? Yes. And, obviously you've got the beautiful point of difference of being locally produced and in compostable packaging, which is a huge brand, a huge unique selling point for our brand. So you also get a complete plug and play marketing strategy. You'll get branded social media tiles, professional product photos, customer and stockist brochures, and comprehensive sales training and scripts. So even just prompts. So if you go in there and you go, ooh, and you completely clam up, you just got some questions that you can ask and make notes. And the brochures have pretty much got the answers to everything you're going to get asked, from, what's the shelf life? What's the wholesale to retail margin? How long does it store for? How many carbs has that one got? All of those questions. No one's going to expect you to know that overnight, but it's in the brochure. And there's also a stockist agreement, so that right from day one, you're educating them of when to order, how to store, what the terms of payment are, and that's all being prepared by a legal professional that's set up ready for you to use. And then after that, it's Primalista life. So doing what you love from home, helping others, making money, being part of the awesome Primalista sisterhood. And we have one mister at the moment. Two misters, Troy and Duncan, they're awesome. And become an integral part of your local foodie community. You'll get to grow, contribute, and have new experiences and create a freedom lifestyle that you love. Oh, and tech requirements, I think you only need a phone. I don't think you need any other tech. You can do everything from your phone. That's good, right? Don't need a printer. All right, so another common question is, are the recipes easy? And the answer is yes, and they have to be, because if they were too technical, I would have to hire patissiers to make them. And it wouldn't be something that one woman could crank out in the kitchen, you know? So the recipes are very simple. They're measure, mix, and bake. I have a horrible history of failed cakes. I come from a family. We used to have failed cake and custard on a Monday nearly every week from my mum's failed baking. But I just find that grain-free baking is so much easier. There's less artisan skill needed because there's no kneading, proving, or rising. It's just very much measure, mix, bake, and you'll be able to get 12 loaves of 12 loaves in the oven at once. 12, she said 12, she said 12. 12 loaves in at once. So you can really crank through these recipes, and most of the recipes will take about a minute of mixing. So it might be half a minute of mixing, scrape down the bowl, mix again. Now I'm going to show you a couple of edited training videos from the Primalista license. They're quite short, making the quirky cooking shortbread and the pizza bases. And you'll see how easy they are. I was going to say something else. No, it's gone. So I'll just shut up and show you. Off we go. Let's make the quirky cooking macadamia and currant shortbread. So I'm starting off by blitzing the macadamias. So pop those to the side. I'm going in with the tapioca flour and the almond meal, the coconut sugar, and then our organic butter. So I'm going to mix this for 10 seconds. And then I'm going to add in the macadamias and the currant, just popping in the rose water. So just getting a small portion, zeroing the scales and trying to guess magic 30. So you want to create a little ball with your hands, like so, and then just gently push down like that. That's your cookie. These smell so good. And then you're going to take them 3 at a time. This is a special technique. And then going in with the other 3. And then we're just going to squeeze the air out of the bag, twist to the top of the bag, and then for the highly satisfying, pop in your label in the center. Voila. Let's make pizza bases. So I'm going in first of all with the cashew nut milk. Then I'm going in with my eggs. Then I am going to add the grain-free baking powder. And now in with the salt. Don't forget the coconut oil. So I'm just going to take that off the Thermomix and just scrape down the sides of the bowl. And just going to mix again, speed 5, 30 seconds. And then you're going to take your pizza tray and pop it onto the scales. So once you've measured it, I like to take it off the scales and then just spread it around using your spatula. So the pizzas are all done. So again, we want to take them off the trays straight away. And we're going to put them in the bag like this. And again, one last cuddle, squeezing the air out of the bag. And put the label in the center. And there you go. So what do you think? Easy peasy? Could you do that? Bet you could. And just a note on the Thermomix, it's great if you've got one. It's a tax deduction if you want to get one and you become a business owner. But if you don't have one, it shouldn't be a barrier to getting started. I've got Primalistas who use a bowl and a spoon, hand mixers, and if I was going to do it again, I'd probably go with a KitchenAid myself. So what about the startup costs? That is a great question. So I have got this super, hopefully you can guess by now, I like to just put everything out there. So there's no surprises when you come in and you can decide whether this is right for you or not. But these are the startup costs. I'm not going to read them all out. The majority of the things that you will need, you already have. And the Primalista specific things are things that you'll be able to sell on when you hang up your apron. And that's not taking into account the baking starter kit, which I'll share about in a minute. So how much can I earn? Okay, so here are the amazing pie charts. So as you can see, our cost to produce, so the cost to produce or cost of goods equals the ingredients, the label, and the bags. So we don't take into consideration the conversion time, which is your time, your electricity, your delivering, your time on the phone, any of that, because there's too many variables. So we're talking about the gross profit here. So our cost to produce is about 30%. Our retail profit is about 70%. And obviously, if you're selling via a shop, they will take a percentage as well. So on average, Primalistas have got a mixture of wholesale and retail or direct to consumer. And on average, our gross profit is actually around 58%, so around 60% when you combine the two together. So I'll just show you some of the other pie charts here. So that's the mixes. This is the cookies. And the breads. And to get an idea of how much you need to bake, how much do I need to bake to earn $655.30 a week as a Primalista? So this is a bit of a visual. So, and this is taking into consideration the wholesale and the retail price. So let's imagine we're selling half of this to a shop and half of it direct to the consumer. And it's also taking into consideration that it would take you about 10 minutes per item, which is very generous. When you saw, when I was making the pizzas there, that batch that I mixed will make me 9 pizza bases. And the cookies that I made, that one batch will make me 5 packets of cookies. So it's very streamlined. Everything makes multiple batches. And this would take you about 10 hours to produce. So this is kind of the model of how I was doing it. So I was baking 2 mornings a week. I would bake on a Monday morning. I'd have a set start time and a set finish time, which is really important. Otherwise, the work just goes on all day. We all know that. That's called Parkinson's law. It's actually a thing. So I would start about 6:30. I'd say, right, I want to be done by lunchtime. And I would bake for the health food shops, the local gourmet pizza shops, cafes. That's what I was baking at the time. And then on a Thursday, I would bake again on a morning, because I'm a morning person, for my market, which was at the Steiner School on a Friday afternoon. So I would bake about this much every week. And for me, I mean, this is about $1,200 worth of orders. And so, you know, just over half is gross profit to me. And that was really worth it for me, because I was at home. I could be getting on with the washing as well. I could be doing my yoga afterwards. I could be having a shower. could be thinking about dinner, cleaning up, you know, doing all the other things that we do, but in my own environment. And as a mum, I'd left corporate because I couldn't bear leaving Sam in daycare. You know, each to their own, but that was my personal journey. I don't know how we made it through those years because my husband's a tradie. We definitely need to earn two incomes. And I tried everything from babysitting to leaflet dropping to massage, everything. And it was all hard work. And sometimes like things like massage, I speak to a lot of primalistas who are massage therapists, things like that. You can be like, oh, I've got 5 massages booked next week, you beauty. And then people get sick or they run out of money and they all cancel. Whereas I found baking was a lot more steady and reliable because this is people's staple foods that they're eating, right? All right. That's enough said about that one, H. Oh, this is a beaut. I love this one. Thank you, Carmel, Veronica. That last slide was a bit hard to read. Which one was that, Haley? Is it the pie charts one? If you're looking for the pie charts, they're all on the website. So if you go to primalalternative.com/license, you can peruse the pie charts at your leisure. The one before the pie charts. I have to see now. This one? Startup costs. Yes, I agree. It is small. That's on there as well under the FAQ section on the license page, primalalternative.com/license. Go to the FAQ, the list, as some potential primalistas call it. Where's the list? So it's on there so you can have a look at that. Carmel Veronica for $5,000. No thanks. Don't you love Facebook? Yeah. Thanks, Carmel. So I thought I'd run you through the membership bonuses and 7-day cooling off guarantee. So how much does it cost to become a Primalista? Okay, so you have got 2 options. You can pay upfront for $5,497 and save $500, or you can go on a payment plan of $497 a month for 12 months. Now that's the license fee. So that's in exchange for the business in the box, the Primal Alternative intellectual property, the recipes and resources, everything you need to do this. So that's kind of like the course, if you like. And in addition to that, there's a monthly membership of $130 a month. Now, I like to think of that is instead of royalties. So everyone understands what a royalty is. So like I mentioned with my Janine Alice example, say if you did, $1,000 of sales, you would need to pay 8% of that to Janine Alice. Whereas with this, you just pay $130 a month, whether you've had a big month or a quiet month, and everybody just knows where they're at. So it works out about just over $20 a day for the first year, and then it's just over $4 a day after that. So in terms of startup, I think it's pretty doable. And when you think about the other courses out there, and on average, Primalistas are earning anywhere from $1,500 to $5,000 a month, which will take them 2 to 5 months to pay back their initial investment and start earning an income, cooking healthy baked goods from home. And remember that in the beginning, that like from health enthusiast to having your own business, like if you wanted to do all of this yourself from scratch, you absolutely can. I'm not saying you can't, but I have to tell you, I've spent a lot more than $5,497 developing this brand. Like there's so much that goes into it, which I'm sure if you've ever had your own business or if you're still watching this, however long in we are now, you'll get that. So let's tell you about the bonuses that you get when you become a Primalista. Now, the baking starter kit is such an awesome bonus. And I got asked for years from Primalistas, can you put together a starter kit? And I was put off from doing it because I was like, why would I get everything delivered to me and then post it to you? Like it's double handling. But I really realized that it just helps keep the costs down for new Primalistas and stops that legwork of shopping around when you're trying to get everything else set up. So this kit will give you enough labels and bags for your first $3,000 worth of orders, which is so good. So I posted 5 off on Saturday, actually. It was so much fun. And the Primalistas will be getting them. The new Primalistas will be getting them this week. So in it, you'll find an organic fair trade Primal Alternative apron with your name and state embroidered on it, 6 Primal Alternative loaf tins, 200 compostable cellophane bags that'll fit in the pizzas, wraps, loaves, and cookies, And it's actually 250. I found out yesterday. 250 personalized product labels that will come direct from our printer. You'll also get a one-on-one coaching session to have with me. So whether you want advice on startup, how to handle a situation with a stockist, whatever, I'm here for you whenever you want. Everyone gets a free session. And you also get a Profit First Masterclass. Now, this is gold. Has anyone done any barefoot investing where you allocate certain percentages to different buckets? Well, it's the same principle, but for business. So making sure that you pay yourself first and you're putting some aside for profit, you're putting some aside for tax and operating expenses as well. And that's with a Profit First professional. That is game changing. It just means you can make decisions in your business just looking at your bank accounts, which is really cool. Very cool. So those bonuses stack up to $900. You can save $500 when you pay up front. There's normally also $1,000 joining fee, which with all of this talk of rate increases and inflation, cost of living crisis, and all of that, I've just waived that because I just want to make it more easy to get entry into your own business, which could be an amazing side hustle that helps you navigate those cost of living increases. So I've waived that $1,000 joining fee until the end of 2023. I also want you to know that in 2024, there will be a price increase on the monthly membership that'll go to $140 a month. So if you join, so like the Primalistas that joined in 2021, they pay $110 a month. It's kind of a little loyalty bonus. So whatever your monthly membership is when you start, that's what it stays at. It doesn't go up every year. So that's good to know. And the extra special bonus that I have for you is a WhatsApp chat group support. Now, I never normally offer this because there's lots of questions, which is fine. But I always found that it was a bit overwhelming for me. So I've always just directed everyone to the Facebook group where everyone can search on 9 years worth of questions. There's 100 plus Primalistas in there that everybody wants everyone to succeed and they love supporting you. But I have realized that when you're starting up, you have a lot of new startup questions that you might not want to ask in the big group. So I am running a WhatsApp chat group support, which you're welcome to join. We've got 8 newbie Primalistas in there that have started in October and November, and they're really amazing. Like they're asking questions, and people's questions might be stuff that you're thinking but hadn't thought to ask. So you're getting the answers on that. They're seeing people that are doing there's a couple of new Primalistas who've already got food vans with already got food business registrations. And one of our Primalistas has got her first market this weekend. It's a really, it's like a little mastermind or a little incubator to be in, like this extra level of support. And I personally think that level of support, like I've looked at masterminds, we're talking like $10,000, $5,000. When I have done tiered membership before, to have that 6 weeks support from me was an additional $4,000. So if you wanted to do it, but with support from me, it was 10 grand to join, and people paid that. So I think that's an extra special bonus. And because we've only got 6 weeks left till the end of the year, this offer will end on Tuesday. So if you want in and you want all of these perks and benefits and not that $1,000 joining fee and not increasing your monthly membership, get in before next Tuesday if that works for you. And in answer to that post, $5,000, no thanks, I'll let Primalista Ash answer that. So she says, for a business startup, this is such good value. Go out and value the time it takes to actually do it yourself. No thanks. And Ash knows because she had a food business before she joined Primal Alternative and decided that it was much better to go with an established brand already. So she knows what she's talking about. So the 7-day cooling off guarantee. So when you join, you have a full 7 days to try the materials. You get to try a few recipes and start setting up your business. You get to check out the community. You get to feel the vibe. And if at any point during those first 7 days, you decide that being a Primalista is not for you, you just let me know and I'll provide you with a full refund. So that's good to know. And this is good to know too, if you haven't tried the products, like I would say probably 80% of people that join haven't tried the products, but they've looked at the ingredients, looked at the reviews, looked at the pictures and gone, I bet they taste nice. So if you want to try not just the product, but also the recipes, come in. There's 3 recipes to try in the first week: the chocolate chip cookies, the low carb seed loaf, which is a bestseller, and I can't remember what the other one is. Maybe pizzas? Can't remember. But the reason I don't have all of the recipes in the first week is because, believe it or not, some people did join just to get the recipes and then cool off, which is a bit rubbish, isn't it? So that's why I just do that, to protect the Primal Alternative intellectual property. So let me go to the chat group. All right. So Manuela says, you're welcome, Haley. Manuela says, hi, Ellen. What? Hi. Ciao. Manuela sounds very Spanish. Hola, I think I mean not ciao. Hi, Helen. Like she's mad sharp. Once we buy the license, are we able to create and add our own recipes if we want to? Yes, you can. That's, again, a really, really common question. And you can. And the place that most Primalistas would add their own recipes would be if they did a market. So like if you follow Primalista Melissa Y in orange, she is like, oh, she's so creative. It's crazy. I don't know how she does it. She comes up with a new recipe using Primal Alternative packet mixes as the base, like chocolate beetroot muffins and Persian love cakes and all sorts. And she takes extra stuff to the markets. Now, I personally found that baking, and this is when there was only 5 Primal Alternative products. Now there's like 13 plus mixes. I found that's enough to do. You'll already be busy. And if you start to add in other products, that's going to require labels, lab testing. You're kind of making more work for yourself as well. So that's something to think about. Having said that, Primalista is also bringing out her own dukkha, a brand. It was so cool. She's called it Mother Dukkha. It's a bit cheeky, isn't it? A bit naughty, but not. Mother Dukkha. So she's bringing out a dukkha brand you got most of the spices and nuts and stuff already. So that's quite a sensible thing to do. Dukkha is something that she can make in mass amounts and it's got a long shelf life. Avril think that's funny. Yeah, I think it's funny. I think it's actually genius. So go and check out Melissa Y on Instagram. She's great. Ciao, you're Italian. Come sta? Va bene, sì. You're welcome. Sono inglese. That's all I can remember right now. One of my best friends is in Italy, but he speaks English and I don't speak very much Italian at all. But I love Italy. Love Italy. And Italians love Australia. Australia, he calls it Australia. All right, so moving on, hanging up your apron, right? People talk about that. Do people hang up their apron? You know, how many people have done it? Do they stay? How long do they leave? So people come to Primal Alternative for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Like with anything in life, right? And the majority, like literally 99.9% of Primalistas send such warm, lovely feedback when they leave. Like this Primalista Carolyn, I've loved my time as a Primalista. I've learned new skills, discovered new wonderful attributes that I was unaware of. And Tanya, I've grown and learned so much during my 3.5 years as a Primalista. The community has been one of the warmest, most helpful and supportive spaces, and I've absolutely loved being part of it. Now she's gone on to do women's circles, women's coaching. You know, like it's not a bad thing when people leave. That's why I'm never sad when a Primalista leaves, because I know that they will have had incredible growth, contribution, and experience, which is all. That's the human path, right? That's all it's about: growth, contribution, and experience. And they've experienced real life learning on the job versus, you know, doing a TAFE, university, whatever, versus that investment to then have to go out and reinvent the wheel, come up with a unique selling point, you know, a unique value proposition. It's hard. It's hard. And then you have to know your customer avatar and all of that. We've done all of that. And you only need 7 days notice. When you want to hang up your apron, you just email me. And the 7 days is just to give me a chance to get to my computer, you know, turn off any payments that are due, etc. You get an opportunity to sell on your gear in the Primalista Facebook group. We have a very closed economy with stuff like that. Yeah, really straightforward. So what have I missed? So after hearing about what's available with the Primalista license and seeing how it could get you closer to what you want to do, have you got any other questions or concerns that I have not answered? Now, I am going to wait a minute to see if there's any last minute questions, and I'm going to play you a little survey with some music because I am a little bit picture after all. Everything has to be to music. And I'm going to be back with the Lucky Door Prize winner. Time to rock out. All right, well, it looks like I've answered the questions. The packet mixes, we get one product per packet mix. And the packet mixes are something that I'll answer. You didn't ask this question, but it's a common one. Do the packet mixes come from me? And that's no. So you make the packet mixes with, so it's just the dry ingredients of the ready-made products. So clever. It's not my idea. It was another Primalista's idea. So just the dry mixes, and then you just put them in a pouch, heat seal it, put a label on, and it has a shelf life of 6 to 9 months. How good's that? And the profit margin is very similar to that of the ready-made products. I will be honest and let you know that most people want the ready-made products because they want it done for them. But packet mixes still have a time and a place for people who are traveling, or they want to have that baking experience without charging their pantries with lots of expensive ingredients. We've all done that, right? I remember making an $80 batch of brownies with all these weird ingredients. And yes, if you have more in-depth particular questions specific to your area or to your circumstance, the Primalista call is the next step. So there's the link again, primalalternative.com/call. That will take you through to my diary. You get to pick your time in your time zone. Hurrah! Because that's confusing, isn't it? And answer a couple of questions just to help me prepare. And then the call will take about half an hour to 45 minutes. And it's all about you. So everybody that comes onto the call, it's not a sales call at all. It is a discovery call where we're seeing, is this a good fit for what you want to do based on your time available, the number of customers you want, how much you want to earn, and other factors. That's why we have those calls. They're so good. Right, we made it to the end. I'm gonna pick a prize winner. Sophie Mont, I recognize your name. I'm gonna look you up after this. Have we had a call already? Let me know. I thought when you popped in, I thought, I know your name. All right, and the lucky prize winner is Jackie. You have won my yummy prize. So my yummy prize is 2 Primal alternative products, So congratulations, Jackie. I know it's Jackie, really. I'm just being silly. Funny though, isn't it? I love doing these. Can you tell I'm having fun? Having fun. So if you could please email me info@primalalternative.com with your address, your full name, like obviously a bit more than Jackie, and your phone number or email address so that Primalistas can get in touch to say, hey, Jackie, I've baked your yummy prize and I'm going to be posting it or I'm going to be dropping it off. And so you can expect it because it will come directly baked for you from a real life Primalista. And it's usually going to be probably, I always ask them to fit it in with what they're baking. So it will probably be a packet of something and maybe some cookies, something like that. So that's exciting, isn't it? Thank you, Jackie. Congrats, congrats, congrats. Thank you for your time. It's been amazing. Seriously, this has been lots and lots of fun. Going out with a bang for 2023. I would absolutely love to see your name pop up in my diary. So we've got like literally nose diving 4 weeks before my folks arrive, school finishes. So get in, get your call booked, and let's see if we can get you started in your own freedom-based business. Thanks for being here. Lots of love. Bye.